From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News.
Hello, and welcome to tonight's show of Nightly News. I'm your host, Caitlin Zhang, and this is my co-host, Alyssa Nguyen.
Tonight we'll be covering news from the 1970s. For all you president lovers, we'll be covering President Nixon and President Carter.
We'll be updating you on the trending topics of the New Right political movement, color television, and the women's rights movement.
Yeah. We'll also hear some touching stories of how Vietnamese immigrants came to America and how they overcame the struggles they faced.
And we're going to end the night with top musical hits of the 1970s. Wait, I'm just hearing news from our other reporters. We have breaking news.
Yes, it seems like we have gotten footage of President Nixon resigning from office after his involvement in the Watergate affair, in which members of the committee to re-elect the president got caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C. It seems like this was the only respectable option left for the president.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford shall be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
Mr. President, after finally turning in the tapes that you tried to make exclusive property of the president to Leon Jaworski, it was revealed that you tried to convince the FBI to cease investigation of Watergate and use bribes to have people lie under oath claiming that you were not involved. Do you expect the people of the U.S. to ever be able to trust you or our government again?
It pains me to think that the American people have lost faith in our government, but I can assure you that Gerald Ford will be a great and respectable president. I end this press conference here. This is all too much.
Wow, such a shame to see a president's administration to end in such scandal.
Especially when Nixon was able to have great achievements in foreign affairs. He created a policy of detente with the Soviets in which tensions were reduced, especially with the SALT I Treaty, where the two countries agreed not to produce any more nuclear or ballistic missiles. Let's take a moment to appreciate the president that Nixon was, both good and bad.
All right, that's enough appreciation. Let's move on to sports. We have our favorite sports correspondent hosting the Tonight Show of Inside the CIC. Dion Ngo! Woo!
Thanks, you two. Sadly, Charles and Shaq couldn't join me tonight, but on tonight's show of Inside the Commander-in-Chiefs, we're doing a player spotlight on a new and upcoming player. His name's Jimmy Carter, and boy, there are some stats on him. Well, would you look at that winning smile? Carter's stepping up his game a bit. He signed the SALT II to propose restraints on nuclear weapons with the Soviets. Did you hear about Carter's assists in his last game? Wow, let's discuss the Camp David Accords. Carter assisted Egypt and Israel in establishing diplomatic relations between the two nations. Ooh, unfortunately, Jimmy Carter recently fouled during the Iranian hostage crisis. Seems like Carter made the wrong choice when allowing the Iran Shah to come to U.S. for medical treatments. A group of Iranian students were angered and took U.S. diplomats hostage to protest against the U.S. involvement. Carter successfully made a few points of passing the Emergency Natural Gas Act and Energy Security Act. Along with the creation of the Department of Energy, Carter established policies to encourage energy conservation within the U.S. Now let's move on.
Wow, thanks for a great sports segment, Dion.
Now it's time to see this decade's trending topics.
Hey you guys, so this decade's trending topics are the New Right political movement, color television, and the women's rights for equality. So the New Right was an outspoken conservative movement that began in the mid-1960s but gained great popularity in the 1970s. The New Right was partly a response to countercultural protests of the 1960s, and it emphasized opposition to social issues like abortion, the equal rights movement, pornography, homosexuality, and affirmative action. Members of the New Right were younger, better organized, and more willing to lobby in DC than members of the Old Right. The next trending topic is colored television. With the invention of affordable colored television, many people steered away from movies and TV shows gained more popularity, and by the end of the 70s, there were over 56 million households that had colored television. And the last topic for today is women's rights. With the creation of now Title IX of Education Amendments and the Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978, women have made great strides towards equality in the 1970s. However, the most pressing issue right now is the fact that the Equal Rights Amendment has still not been ratified due to the conservative movement led by Phyllis Schlafly.
How fascinating.
Next on tonight's shows, we want to show you guys a moving documentary on Vietnamese immigrants.
Why I leave Vietnam? Because I was too young at that time, and my parents want me to leave Vietnam to looking for a better future?
Your grandpa was in the Air Force, and he would, back then they would say that he's on the blacklist, or the dead people according to the communists.
My father was in the Secret Service for the South government when he was young, so we didn't have a choice but to leave, otherwise he would be prosecuted.
And what I have to do to overcome the economic struggle?
So we have 10 people with one paycheck, and that's tough to, to have a nice living standard. But we, that's the thing, the motivation for us to overcome that and work hard. And the only way that we felt that can get us out of poverty is by working hard and get a good education. I think once I got a job with Microsoft, I felt like, yes, I'm finally become a middle class and be part of the what do you call it, American dream. Do well and be able to contribute to society.
I can speak English now. I don't have to live under communists anymore. I can eat and say and do whatever I want in America as long as it doesn't impinge on other people. Freedom. That's the most valuable things of all.
Time for our last segment of the show, the video of the week.
This medley of 1970s songs has gone completely viral these past couple of days, and we want to show you guys it.
So enjoy and tune in next week. Yeah.